Hello, I'm Zachariah Durr, producer with CLE Weekend. CLE Weekend is the website that tells the stories of the people, places, and events going on in Cleveland. Today we'll be showing a variety of these stories, from fashion to motorcycles, axe throwing to cocktail creating. But first, let's meet a family that gives their home in Fairview Park a distinctly tropical feel.
My daughter got me one for Father's Day years ago, and ever since then, it's been keeping it going. They put them out around the end of April. Can't freeze, so they have to be inside during the winter. And then by Halloween, I dig them up and move them inside. As long as they don't freeze, they're fine. A lot of people want them, but then once you tell them they got to dig them up and bring them in the house, then they don't want them.
Banana trees. Yes. With the bananas. And that's what we get.
You can tell when they're going to get bananas because it'll come out with a short leaf. You'll get this plume that comes out, and then after a while, a leaf will lift up and you'll get flowers. The bees will come and pollinate them, and then they turn into bananas. A lot of people from different countries, Puerto Rico, Jamaica, Cuba, stop by asking for them. People just want some leaves to cook in them. Maybe one day I'll just move somewhere where there are banana trees.
We're a social bike ride that meets every Monday, a different location in Cleveland. We usually do about 10 miles. It's a moderately paced route, so people of all ages and experience levels are welcome to join us. Our squad that helps keep people together, and it's just it's a fun time for everybody. You get people that never see the east side that come out for our west side rides and vice versa. Hopefully they get to know a little bit more about the city they live in.
A Christmapolitan. It is off of our Miracle Menu, which is a pop-up that is presented by Cocktail Kingdom. It's a play off of Cosmopolitan, which was made by Cheryl Cook in the 80s, featured in Sex and the City. So this cocktail starts off with 3/4 of an ounce of lime juice, an ounce of our spiced cranberry syrup, 1/4 of an ounce of Norley Pratt dry vermouth, another 1/4 ounce of elderflower liqueur, and then 2 whole ounces of vodka. It is shaken. We're just gonna double strain this. This cocktail is garnished with a rosemary sprig and a spritz of absinthe.
My name's Alan Singleton, and this is Applejack's Toys, a vintage retro style toy shop. I am doing a soft opening tomorrow. So basically we are selling a lot of collection that I was collecting over the years. Well, I've been a toy salesman, a toy buyer for many different stores. I worked at Big Fun Toy Store on Coventry Road for 8 years. My specialty was G.I. Joe. Well, I got this space a few months back, and it was CPR classes. It had hospital beds everywhere. I put in all these display cabinets. We built this entire train display, my brother and I did. I tell people if it's fantasy, if it's cartoon related, if it's comic book related, and if it's a television show or a movie that you remember that they made licensed stuff for, I probably want to look at it. I'm excited. I'm really excited. I'm really excited. There's been a lot of people who have been helping me. They've helped me stock cases. They're helping me advertise and promote. It's pretty wonderful. Bring your children. There's going to be a very retro feel at the beginning. Over time, though, we'll keep bringing in whatever the kids want us to carry. We are trying to make this a neighborhood toy store where children can come and buy toys. Everybody needs to understand toys are important. Please buy them for your children.
Hi, my name is Teddy Ruxpin.
Welcome back to the best of CLE Weekend. Christmas is a time for giving, being with family, and reflecting on the unifying power of love. Here's a video about racing wiener dogs at the fair.
The P, Beet, and J. Kind of reminds me of a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, but an adult version with booze. So we're gonna start off with 2 ounces of Diplomatico rum, 1/2 ounce of beet juice. We've also made a peanut butter honey, 0.75 ounces. So essentially just emulsifying peanut butter, honey, and hot water down to make it pliable, as well as the sweetening agent for the drink. And then about 1 ounce of orange juice, just for some acid. It doesn't need too much dilution. We just kind of want to thin out that peanut butter, as well as beet juice can have a little bit of viscosity. So just a couple quick shakes just to kind of thin it out and get everything to know each other. Over ice. And then just a quick little squeeze of fresh lime right on top, and they're ready to go.
My name is Mike Wendt. I'm the production coordinator for the Greater Cleveland Film Commission. My job is to really help sell Cleveland as a shooting location for movies and television. This at one time was a Westinghouse plant. It has been used in several films in the area. Avengers, White Boy Rick, the upcoming Native Son. Another movie called The Land. He jumps, did like that flip kind of thing. I like to show filmmakers this. They're always looking for some kind of decaying warehouse. Usually when I hear warehouse, I'm like, I know where to take you. Captain America Winter Soldier, Fast and the Furious 8, Little Evil, which was a Netflix film. My Friend Dahmer was one that I was really heavily involved with. And just recently, White Boy Rick. For White Boy Rick, certainly they were looking for down areas, gritty neighborhoods that kind of represented in 1980s Detroit. Michigan recently got rid of their film tax credits. We benefited because we have a tax incentive program. By having the tax credits, they shot 95% of the movie in Cleveland. A lot of times people are not thinking Cleveland looking for their movie. If it's written for New York City, they want to shoot in New York, but it's much more financially feasible to shoot here.
I pretty much would tell you that I am 95% sold on Cleveland, okay?
Awesome.
Maybe I'll be shooting the whole TV show in Cleveland. I'm talking to the financiers about that.
What makes me excited, and I know what the other great workers here in our office excited, is when people are working, making sure that we can help provide jobs for people that work in the film industry, keep thriving in their profession that they want to do, really makes it worth it for me.
My family's pretty much always been obsessed with cars, bikes. And my uncle was always my Harley uncle. He was my biggest influence, you know, like the cool uncle, right? Scott Colosimo, Cleveland Cycle Works. So Cleveland Cycle Works is a motorcycle manufacturing company. That's where we design, develop, engineer, and manufacture ground-up motorcycles. Cleveland Motorcycles is our custom shop where we're taking the stock bikes and we're modifying them to the customer's desire. The US has been obsessed with big motorcycles for a very long time. We started manufacturing motorcycles at a time where the average bike was around $15,000. You know, I looked at the product from a different perspective and I said, well, what can we remove to simplify, bring the cost down, but still keep the fun alive? And actually, by removing all these aids and all these components and keeping the bikes extremely light, less expensive, and totally outside of that era of bigger is better. So Cleveland Cycle Works is a small company. We have a few people who are highly skilled and they do a lot of work.
I like the work because it's very challenging, very creative. So you're really hands-on building something from scratch. It's very fulfilling. One of the things I'm most proud of the design of the Misfit Gen 2 is it meets all of our design criteria. A very good modern handling motorcycle, affordable, excellent design quality, excellent build quality.
It's certainly a concept that is captured in other countries more so than here with the smaller lightweight bikes. So our business has taken us to Japan, Indonesia, Malaysia, Korea. We're just setting up business in India because the small displacement is already the norm there. This general concept is now starting to catch on in the US. The business plan is very much rooted in the city that we're from. You know, this is a blue collar, it's a working class town, and the bikes are very much a reflection of the attitude, the feeling, and really everything that encompasses the city of Cleveland. You know, there's a whole concept behind why simple works. I could keep going.
I've always wanted to be like one of those Amazon women. That's why I joined Axtra.
You don't need to dress the part to Axtra, although it does make you feel more exceptional when you do it.
Is a great stress relief. I put my headphones on, zone out, you know, you kind of forget about your cares for the week, and you get to chop some wood.
I've had a 15-year-old kid come in here and just destroy full-grown adults. I had an 89-year-old woman a few weeks ago hit a bullseye. She was propping herself up with her cane and throwing with the other hand.
By day, I'm IT. By night, I am Axe Out, and this is Becky Jr.
There is more of a visceral feel to using a bladed weapon.
I actually talked to someone this week and they said, hey, I'm gonna bring my girlfriend here preemptively before we ever fight. Every single time, I'm like, you do you. If zombie apocalypse comes, definitely gonna go with an axe. It's reusable, as we've all seen from The Walking Dead. And it's way cooler.
I would rule! I got 6 bullseyes tonight.
Aloha, I'm Jeff Berry, alias Beach Bum Berry of Beach Bum Berry's Latitude 29 in New Orleans and Cocktail Kingdom in New York. Latitude and Cocktail Kingdom have teamed up for Sippin' Santa's Surf Shack, a pop-up Christmas bar that lasts throughout the month of December. And we are proud and honored to be the guest tonight of Porco Tiki Lounge, Kanakaloka Swizzle. It is not for the weak, and we're going to find out why in just 1 second as we ice it up and make one for you. I'm going to start off with 2 ounces of our Plantation OFTD, 138 proof rum. Should warm you up over the holidays. An ounce of fresh squeezed lime juice. And then the thing that makes it Christmassy, a little bit of a nutmeg, chai, and cinnamon in our swizzle syrup. An ounce of that. And then we're going to make it in the old Caribbean style, stretching back to the 1700s. We're going to swizzle it, where we just go up and down and side to side. All right, that should do it. Put in our Sippin' Santa swizzle and our cinnamon taco garnish. And here is your Kanakaloka swizzle.
I'm Clement and I'm the owner of Cleveland Curiosities. We just recently opened in Lakewood and it's a premier oddity shop. I've always been into weird stuff. I've done entomology when I was younger, bug pinning and skull cleaning, at everything from the nature centers and biology class, so it kind of just progressively got into what it is now. Everybody comes in here and they're like, oh, that's so cute, it's a baby cow. Then they look and they're like, oh, it has 2 faces. It's legal to own human skulls in the state of Ohio, which is awesome, and we're actually trying to bring that from the shop into your homes. Skeletons we offer here, most of them are older ones, the 1920s and before, because of the actual sternum on the front of its flesh, and it's a shellac, so it's the original actual cartilage and flesh on the sternum connected to the bones. We do try and inform everybody the best we can that we try and get everything ethically sourced. Since they're medically prepped or they're study specimens, it kind of gives that relief to the people that are asking. There's a lot of collectors that collect different types of caskets. We have show caskets, wicker caskets, mortuary cosmetic kits, unopened embalming bottles all the way from 1940s to late 1800s. Being able to have a kid come in here and look at something and be like, wow, that's really creepy. And then you get to hand them a skull and then they look into it and you talk to them about it and they're like, wow, this is really cool. And then you kind of were able to show them something that they're not going to probably experience. They really get into it, and that's what makes me happy.
We're going to be starting on 1725. So we're making a jumpsuit that's all black, a little bit of mesh here. We might put some gold hardware on the belt. I started designing outerwear because I needed a good coat. I wanted to wear something that I felt confident and stylish in, but was still functional. I needed it to be warm. Because let's face it, we live in the tundra of the Midwest. A couple of friends were like, hey, why don't you just start selling the things you make on Etsy or out of your studio? And I enjoyed doing it, so Yellow Cake was born. This is my basement / laundry room / studio / where things go to die in my house. I went to school briefly for fashion, like for a hot second I took 3 classes. And then I had to drop out because I'd already borrowed like 50 grand from the government. So I just taught myself the rest through books and trial and error, you know, because when I went on Project Runway, I'd only been sewing for 2 years. Being on Project Runway definitely did affect my life in positive ways, a few small negative ones, but really in the long run, you know, it provided a platform for me to really start my career in a way that maybe I would not have been able to before. Yellow Cake now is still the same women's clothing company that has a mission to lower our carbon footprint, really minimize our textile waste, and dress women who are looking to be comfortable, stylish, and confident in and out of the workplace. Hullabaloo. It's basically a giant fashion event that is meant to be for everyone. So Yellow Cake is essentially our ready-to-wear offering, everyday wear. Our Hullabaloo collection is more runway, more flashy, more avant-garde, and those pieces are all one-offs, meaning that I don't make them ever again. So the collection for Hullabaloo this year is called The Sweet Escape. We wanted the clothing to be inspired by sugar and sweets and donuts and flavors and color. So this is our strawberry piece, and it's probably one of my favorites because it's just so delicate on the top. You know, it's just a light scalloped edge. So it's dainty, it's flirty, it's feminine, but then, you know, it reminds you of a strawberry. The best advice I could give anyone starting a business in Cleveland would be to have the support of your husband, your family, your friends, anyone that's closest to you in your life. It's really easy to compare yourself to other people. Usually if I am getting a bit upset or solemn about something, when I tell Jason, he's kind of the voice of reason and the logic, and he's like the voice in my head saying, you big dummy, you're fine the way you are, you know? He doesn't call me a dummy. Without him, I really don't know what I would do. You have to put in the work. And you can't become an overnight success. Yellow Cake is growing and it's thriving, and we'd love for people to know Yellow Cake by what it means and what it stands for. And that's my dream.
Thanks for watching the best of CLE Weekend. We hope you learned a little bit more about what's happening in our city. Visit our website for more daily content and follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to eat this whole bag of marshmallows. Merry Christmas.